Continuing our journey on learning neural networks, this video is part 2 of how to train a multi-layered perceptron. In part 1, we have already seen all the concepts that form the base of updating the weights so as to reach the optimal value of the weights where the loss minimizes. In this video, we will be continuing our journey on learning how to train a multi-layer perceptron by getting to learn how the weights are updated in each iteration depending on the rate of change of the loss identified with respect to the weights. So let's get back to our multi-layer perceptron model and try to see and understand how the weights are updated. First of all, we have these two weights at hand, W311 and W321. We have these two weights at hand. So let's first understand how to compute this weight. Now, because this W31 impacts O31, just a second. Now, because this W31 impacts O31, that is the output coming out of activation function 31, which is our yi target value. These both are equal. Output coming out of the F31 is y cap. So because W311 is impacting our output coming out of activation function 31, and this output is impacting the calculation that is done through our loss function, therefore the rate of change of our loss with respect to the rate of change of our W311 will be equal to the rate of change of loss with respect to our output 31, that is O31 multiplied by the rate of change of O31 with respect to the rate of change of W311 using the chain rule of differentiation. Now, just to remind you, what does the chain rule of differentiation say? Let's say if a function fx is dependent upon a function gx, which is further dependent upon a function hx, then the rate of change of, then what the chain or rule of differentiation says that the rate of change of fx with respect to the rate of change of hx is equal to differentiation of fx with respect to gx multiplied by the differentiation of gx with respect to hx. So this is what the chain rule says. If a function fx is dependent upon gx and then gx is further dependent upon hx. So using this chain rule of differentiation, we have found out that the rate of change of loss with respect to weight W311, that is the weight over here, is equal to rate of change of loss first with respect to the output obtained here from the function 31, third layer first function, and that output again differentiated with respect to the weight function W311. So this is the first weight that we have find out in this area, and in this region we have two weights that we need to identify. So the way we have found out the rate of change of loss with respect to W311, we'll use the same formula and the same method to calculate rate of change of loss with respect to W312 as well. And what will it be equal to? Because this loss is dependent upon the output that is being obtained here. This loss is dependent upon the output and this output is further dependent upon this weight. Therefore, dl, the differentiation of L with respect to W321, sorry about that, this is W321. So rate of change of WL with respect to W321 will be equal to rate of change of L with respect to the output 31 multiplied by rate of change of O31 with respect to W321. So this is the this is what we have. So this I mean the weights in this region over here are these two weights, and we have found out the rate of change of loss with respect to these two weights over here. Similarly, we will be calculating, we'll now come back to this region and we will find out what will be the value of the 6 weights over here and how they will impact, and we'll find out the rate of change of our loss value with respect to these 6 specific weights. So continuing on to the W2 level, now we have already seen the weights at the W3 level, and we calculated these two the rate of change of loss with respect to these two weights at the W3 level. Now let's move on to the W2 level and see how the weights present on the edges on the W2 level impact the rate of change of, how the change in these weights impact the change in our loss function. So for that, let's clean our slate here. So at the W2 level, if you see, we have 6 weights to determine, and if you look at closely, if you look here closely to understand how a change in this weight will impact our loss function over here, we will have to understand that our loss function is being impacted by the output 3.1, which is the yi cap value, and this O31 is being impacted by this O21 value, and this O21 is then impacted by the W211 value. So we will have to first understand that this weight that is going from this weight at the W2 level is fed as an input to our activation function F21, which gives the output as O21. Therefore, our weight W211 impacts the output O21. Then our O21 output impacts our O31, and our O31 output then impacts our loss function. So if you have to find out the rate of change of our loss function with respect to the rate of change in our W211, how will you find this out? You will have to again apply chain rule, repetitive times. So the rate of change, the rate of change in our loss function with respect to W211 will be equal to rate of change of loss with respect to rate of change of our O31, and rate of change of O31 with respect to rate of change of W211, rate of change of O31 with respect to W211. This can be further broken down using once again the chain rule as dou L by dou O31 multiplied by dou O31 by the O31 is impacted by O21, so O21 multiplied by dou O21 with respect to W211. So we have broken down this term using the chain rule in these two terms. Okay, so our dou L by dou W211 comes down as this function. So as this equation. So rate of change of loss with respect to rate of change of weight W211 is equal to rate of change of loss with respect to rate of change of output O31, and then rate of change of output O31, rate of change of output O31 with respect to rate of change of output O21, and rate of change of output O21 with respect to our weight W211. Similarly, if you have to calculate the rate of change of our loss function with respect to W212, what will this come out to be? Rate of change of, using the same formula and the same chain rules of differentiation, rate of change of loss with respect to rate of change of W212 will be equal to rate of change of loss with respect to output O31 multiplied by rate of change of O31, output O31 with respect to rate of change of output O22, and rate of change of output O22 with respect to rate of change of our weight W212. So using the same chain rules of differentiation and after observing that our loss is dependent upon output O31 and output O31 is further dependent upon output O22 and our output O22 is further dependent upon our W212, we reached the second of the pair of weights for these two connecting edges in blue. Similarly, we can also calculate, we can also determine the rate of change of our loss function with respect to this pair of weights W221 and W222 and this pair of weights W231 and W232. I'll just give you an expression for calculating the weights on weights W231 and W232. So for that we'll have to clean our slate again. Let's do that. So once again, in the same manner, we can see that our W231 is impacting, just a second, is impacting our output O21 over here, and this output O21 is impacting our output O31 over here, and this output O31 or the yi cap is impacting our loss value, loss function. So therefore the rate of change of our loss function with respect to rate of change of our weight W231 will be equal to rate of change of loss function with respect to rate of change of output O31 multiplied by rate of change of output O31 with respect to rate of change of our weight W231, and if we further break down this term using the chain rule of differentiation, so this value will be equal to dou L upon dou O31 multiplied by dou O31 upon dou O, sorry about that, dou O31 upon O31 is impacted by O21, dou O21, and our O21 is impacted by dou W231. And for this W232, using the same formula and the chain rules of differentiation, rate of change of loss with respect to our weight W232 will be equal to rate of change of our loss function with respect to the output O31. So we have covered this part. Now to cover this part, we will multiply it with the rate of change of output O31 with respect to output O22. Now we will cover this part and we'll further multiply it with rate of change of our output O22 with respect to weight W232. So I have done it for these two pairs. I have shown you how the weights, rate of change of loss with respect to the weights are determined, and once again we are actually checking out we are actually learning this way to update our weights, respective weights, to find out the optimal weight that can minimize our loss function L. Okay, so this is how the weights are the rate of change of loss with respect to the weights are calculated to feed it up into the update function, so that the update function gives us the optimal value of our respective weights, which can be used to minimize a loss function. So we have learned how the weights are how the rate of change of the loss with respect to the weights at W3 level is determined, how the rate of change of loss with respect to the weights at W2 level is determined. Now we will learn how the rate of change of loss function is determined with respect to the weights at the W1 level. So let's clean our slate once again. At the W1 level, that is this region, this is W1 level, this is W2 level, this is W3 level. At W1 level, we already know that we have a set of 12 weights that have to be determined for each of the input. For each of the input over here, for xi1 we have a triplet. Similarly for xi2 also we have a triplet. Triplet of weight respective to each of the connecting edges. Similarly for W, for the third input component also we have the same a triplet. For the fourth also we have a triplet. So in total we have 12 weights that need to be taken care of. If you look closely, our W111, which is the weight of this connecting edge, is acting as input to the activation function, giving the output as O11. But the output that is coming out of this activation function is impacting two activation functions over here. So ultimately what is happening is this W111 is impacting the output O11 over here, and this O11 is impacting output O21 and output O22, and further this O21 is impacting O31 and O22 is impacting O31, and O31 then impacts our loss function. So this is this diagram just explains how the loss function is impacted by the output 3.1, and output 3.1 is in turn impacted by output 2.1 and output 2.2, and output 2.1 and output 2.2 are both impacted by output 1.1, and output 1.1 is further impacted by our weight W111. All the weights that are, all the 12 weights that are there in this matrix have the same kind of impact at the W1 level as we see it for W111. Let's take, we are right now considering W111 and trying to find out how the how a change in W111 will impact the rate of change in our loss function. So there is one thing that we need to understand or recall from the differential calculus before we start finding out the derivatives to predict how the rate of change of our W111 weight will impact our loss function. So in differential calculus, if there is a function hx that is a combination of function fx and gx, which in turn are functions of x, then the rate of change of h with respect to x is given as, then the rate of change of h with respect to x is given as dou h by dou f multiplied by dou f with dou x plus dou h by dou g into dou g by dou x. So there, because there are two components that are meeting at h and both of these functions have been split out of x, then rate of change of h with respect to x will be given by rate of change of h with respect to f, that is this term, multiplied by rate of change of f with respect to x using the chain rule, plus rate of change of h with respect to g multiplied by rate of change of g with respect to x. So we are going to use this rule while reducing the equation, the expression for rate of change of loss with respect to rate of change of W111. So coming back to how the rate of change in our loss function will be determined based on the rate of change of our W111, we can define the expression as let me change the color, dou L upon dou W111 equals to dou L upon dou O31 multiplied by the O31 rate of change of O31 with respect to our weight W111. This can be further broken down into dou L rate of change of L with respect to output 31 multiplied by O31 is being impacted by O21 and O22, and O22 and O21 and O22 are in themselves impacted by O11. So we can break this one as dou O31 with respect to dou O21 multiplied by dou O21 with respect to dou O21 with respect to dou W111 plus dou O31 rate of change of O31 with respect to O21, that is O31 with respect to O22. This will be O22 multiplied by rate of change of O22 with respect to okay. So by mentioning dou L by dou O31 we covered this part. Covered by and then we need to differentiate dou O31 with respect to dou W111. So we will have to now we need to break this part to determine the rate of change of output 31 with respect to W111. So how can we break this part? We'll use the rule that we just defined, because output O31 is coming out of the outputs O21 is actually impacted by the outputs O21 and output O22, which in turn is impacted by output O11. So how will this how can this be broken up? So we just saw the rule of differentiation in such cases. So dou O31 rate of change of O31 with respect to rate of change of W111 can be given as rate of change of O31 with respect to O21, that is this part, multiplied by rate of change of O21 with respect to W111. Okay, and then we have summed this with rate of change of O31 with respect to O22 multiplied by rate of change of O22 with respect to W111. So this can be further broken down into because this term will remain as it is because it cannot be broken further, but this rate of change of output 21 with respect to W111 can be broken down further using the chain rule of differentiation, because we have output 1 falling in between. So this output rate of change of output 21 with respect to weight W111 can be written as rate of change of output 21 with respect to rate of change of output 11 multiplied by rate of change of output 11 with respect to rate of change of weight W111. Similarly, this part will remain as it is because rate of change of O31 with respect to rate of change of O22 does not have any intermediate function in between. However, rate of change of O22, that is this output over here, with the rate of change of this output with respect to W111 has another intermediate output 11 in between. So this expression can be further broken down as rate of change of O22 with respect to rate of change of O11 multiplied by rate of change of O11 with respect to rate of change of weight 11. So this is the complete expression. So we saw that we have used multiple rules of differentiation to finally reach out to the expression that gives us the rate of change in our loss function with respect to a weight from our W1, with respect to the change that happens in a weight from our W1 level. So the way we found out this expression for our weight W111, similarly we will find out the expression for all of these 12 weights. So let's randomly take another weight over this weight. This weight is W143. This weight is W143, that is this weight. So if we need to determine the rate of change in our loss function with respect to W143, what will this be equal to? This will be equal to, where should we write? Okay, so dou L with respect to dou weight 143 will be equal to dou L. So how are the weights being impacted? So this edge actually impacts the output over here, the output 13, and this output 13 impacts output O21, and it also impacts output O22, and this O21 impacts output O31, and output O22 also impacts output O31, and then O31 impacts our loss function. So if we have to calculate the rate of change of our loss with respect to W143, what will be the steps we will take? First of all, we will take rate of change in our loss function with respect to our output O31, this output O31, multiplied by, now because O31 is impacted by O21 and output 21 and output 22, which both of them being impacted by output 13, so therefore we will have to use the rule of differentiation, and we can break this as dou O31 with respect to dou O21 multiplied by dou O21, rate of change of O21 with respect to rate of change of O13, and rate of change of O13 with respect to rate of change of W143. This whole thing will be summed up with rate of change of, now we'll consider this part, rate of change of O31 with respect to O22. We'll consider this part. So O31 with respect to O22, rate of change of O31 with respect to rate of change of O22 multiplied by rate of change of O22 with respect to output, this output with respect to output 13, with respect to output 13 multiplied by rate of change of output 13 with respect to our weight W143. So this is it. So similarly, for each of the 12 weights, we can derive the expression to find out the rate of change of our loss with respect to each of the weights, connecting weights, and using these gradients, we can find out the appropriate and the most optimal weight values for each of the connecting edges, so that our multi-layer perceptron can be implemented with precision. So this is how our multi-layer perceptron learns the weights, and if you have any confusion or questions in between, then please I will suggest you to rewatch the video. If you have questions even after that, please post that in the comment sections, and I'll be more than happy to add another video if needed, depending on what exactly you are looking for. Thank you for now. Please subscribe and like the channel. Thank you and goodbye.